Yo, what's happening? It's Richard 98. I'm gonna lay it down to you like it is. The Nintendo Switch 2, I'm gonna say it like this. Now, I don't have a full proof of what it is, but I have a itsy bitsy feeling in about 2 years from now, the Switch 2 will be hacked. They'll have a new computer shit, the most advanced computer we ever had. We'll probably be able to pull off the exploit and some shit. I'm saying this because I believe it. That's what they're gonna do because the technology we have right now in this year, it's not good enough to pull off the exploit. But in the next 2 years or so, or maybe a year, I don't know, will probably be likely the Switch 2 would be likely to be hacked. It's not gonna happen right away, but it's gonna happen sooner than you think. Do I believe emulators gonna come on that bit? Yeah. Fuck yeah, emulators gonna come on that bitch. DOF emulation, like PS2 emulation probably might be a thing for it. Like, I'm just being real. Like, we seen this cycle be happening before, and the Switch 2 is gonna get hacked, like, in 2-3 years from now. I would say 2 years, because like I said, with it being the new console and all that, because we're in a timeline where Switch 2 is going through sales and all that shit, and you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying for wishing, I think Switch 2 gonna get hacked. Of course, you gotta go by the serial numbers. You know how that shit works. It's serial numbers what's important. Because if you have a Switch that's capable of hacking, the chances might be your Switch could be possibly can be hacked or jailbroken, whatever you want to say. Now, I would say they might revise the hardware, put a different chipset shit on there, make it impossible to hack and all that shit. You know how it works. That's what they did with the Switch 1. Because the Switch 1, the early model, or the launch model, or whatever model it is, was able to be hacked easily by using a soft-modded exploit or some shit to make it work. But like I said, though, I think there will be a chance Switch 2 gonna be hacked. I mean, people may laugh at me thinking I'm crazy. Some may think, some may not. Because I think Switch 2 gonna get hacked. That's what I feel. And right now, I have a Switch 2 in my possession right now. If you must know, I did buy it officially. I didn't get it for Rent-A-Center because I'm gonna tell you this: the video that when I did the unboxing, I got it from Rent-A-Center. That was the unboxing video that I did. Now I did experience Switch 2. However, I do have it. I didn't buy it from Rent-A-Center. I bought it from Walmart. That's where I got it from. If you see the clip, short video of a clip that I hold the Switch 2, that's the day that I got it. I brought it at midnight, and it came with it the next day. How I got it? Well, I got Walmart Plus. I'm using services, exclusive services and shit. You know how that works. But yeah, I have a Switch 2 right now, and like I said, the most important thing that we must know, we have to look. The serial number is what's more important. It depends on the capability of whether it could be jailbroken or not. But I feel like, I won't know, I just feel like someone or somewhere might pull off this shit. It's impossible right now because we don't have the technology to date, because we're in the year 2025. But in 2 years in the timeline, I think we're probably going to have more upgraded technology, more upgraded advanced technology. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you guys some details. We're going to have more likely more advanced technology and computers and shit. That's already happening right now as it is. But like I said, in 2 years, I think there'll be a program that'll be able to pull off the Switch 2 hack. It took Nintendo, well, I'm not saying Nintendo, but the hackers, about maybe 2 years from now or 3 years, where the Switch 1 was being hacked, where they trying to figure out how to exploit the code or whatever they found and turn it to like a homebrew thing, whatever. I think this is going to happen with Switch 2, but this is going to be a little different because it's more complex, it's more complicated than it looks. Because the way it looks, the way it's designed, the way the motherboard looks and all that shit will probably be impossible right now as it is. But as I said, 2 years. 2 years, that motherfucker gonna get hacked. Two years from now, the Switch 2 gonna get hacked. And that's when emulation gonna come in that bitch. We got the GameCube online now. Of course, we already know the emulation can be possible for it. We already know the specs. It's 12 gigabit of RAM. It's more enough to run GameCube emulation. But like I said, we'll be seeing that in the future. Do I see PS? I absolutely see that happening. You know, PS2 running on a Switch 2, which would be ironic, right? Now, people may find it hard to believe or might find it hard to be impossible, but anything's possible, man. You know, with a hardware like that, there's no telling what the thing is capable of, what it can do, and all that shit. But really, on a serious note, though, I really think the Switch is going to get hacked within 2 years. Just by looking at the serial number and everything, I think one of these Switch 2s that we have right now are capable of running exploit software and some shit. And homebrew shit on our stuff. Now, I don't condone piracy because, one, I would never do shit like that, but I do want to see, you know, whoever does that and whoever comes with the homebrew applications and shit like that. It might be a little similar to Switch 1, but I think it's going to be a little more different, more stylish than it looks and all that stuff. I think it's going to be like a complex homebrew thing. Kind of like a Wii U situation looking like, or whatever. Now, I don't know if we're going to have like a similar magnetic device that's able to run the exploit and some shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know how back then we had those devices that you plug in on the USB-C and you have to put the jig clip on the side of the controller thing and it runs the exploit like literally. But I think they're gonna set up where, since it's have that magnetic connectivity, they're gonna probably do something similar to that. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a different approach to that, though, if that makes sense. I'm just describing what it might do. It may be similar, but it's gonna be a little different, because, you know, the way it is designed, the way it looks. So they're gonna try to come up with ways to make the exploit work how it's supposed to work. You know, unless you have an unpatchable Switch, which just happen to be these we have right now. Now, next year or so, 2 years, they're gonna probably patch those as well, because they'll figure, you know, they'll be like, okay, we need to make sure we patch those before we even sell them out, because we have a feeling these ones that we're already selling would likely to be jailbroken or hacked somehow. So they're gonna come up with a revision or somehow where they'll try to revise the hardware itself and try to make it impossible to hack. So I'm just trying to give you a timeline where in 2 years from now, someone somewhere is going to post a video or post like a tweet or some shit saying, hey, look, we discovered a bug. We might find an exploitable bug to hack the Switch 2. It's going to be a lot of details that's going to be said on the tweet. But I'm not saying it may not be said how I say it, but I think it's gonna be the way I think it would look. And of course, Marvin's Gamer gonna probably be like, "Oh shit, here we go. This is gonna be a crazy video to do," because, you know, MVG, he always does videos about, you know, hacking, you know, the scenes and all that shit. But with the Switch 2, you know, on the other hand, I think it's gonna be insane to watch. But I really believe we will have a hacked Switch 2, which I think is going to be from 2 years from now. Either 3 years or 2 years. Because right now, the technology we have right now, we don't have that as of we have yet. Because I'm looking at, okay, it might be the software that we have now that's not possible to run. Or they might find some other source that could possibly get the hacking going for Switch 2. But I'm pretty sure in the future it will be more advanced technology in a way, more computers out there that's going to already be built differently how it is. It's probably going to be more faster than it looks. Coding is going to be a little different in the timeline, but I think it's going to probably the point where it'll probably get likely to get hacked within like maybe a month or two, but like 2 years from now. I'm just making these subjects up just to look at the timeline that we're gonna go to. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying stuff to say it, but I really think in 2 years or 3 years that the Switch 2 will likely get hacked. And I do believe Homebrew will make a possible scene. And I think MVG, like I said, Marvel Vicious Gamer, he might do a video about it. And it'll be posted on Twitter, or X, what you want to call it. But like I said, the way I look at the Switch 2, it looks really good. The games are really well. The controller is really cool. But hopefully in the future, we will find a way to remotely use those controllers on other devices besides the Switch 2. We do have a source where it's called, I forgot the site. I just know you can use them as gamepads on PCs and Android devices, unless you connect them on the OTG adapter or some sort of other device, which you can use. So, what I know what it's called ProCon 2 Enabler. I think that's what it's called, where you can use them as a gamepad rather than using it on the Switch 2. So, like I said, this is gonna change the whole world, and we might have an app or some sort of device that will allow us to use those controllers on the first generation, which is the Switch 1. So I'm just saying, it might be possible. You probably could use on PS5, PS4, because we got adapters these days, but I'm thinking in the next couple of years or whatever, they're going to create another adapter, which is going to be compatible to those controllers. And we're able to use them on the Switch 1, besides Switch 2. You use it on PS4, PS5, Xbox 360, Xbox Original, whatever you want to call it, it'll be possible. They just got to find the right source code to run that shit. And have some configurable data or some shit to make it work. But overall, that's all I got to say. Switch 2 is going to get hacked, and that's what I see. And that's all I have to say. And that's all I have to say today. That's all I have to analyze. So, hope you guys have a good night, and peace out, and God to you guys. Peace.